Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Mexico. This is part number 23 of my 2022 Mexico series, and we are back in the city of Torreón in the state of Coahuila in northern Mexico. If you are a new viewer, welcome. This is actually my third visit to Torreón. I was here last year twice, and I filmed a number of videos in the city and in the surrounding area, such as in Gomez Palacio, Lerdo, Matamoros, Puente de Ojuela, and also further south down in Durango. And I'm back again to film one final series in the city and also around this local area as well. I will be filming videos in some old favourites as well as some new ones as well. And as you can probably tell, this is one of my 4K walkarounds, which we do regularly. I do, rather. We walk around for 30 minutes in one shot, uninterrupted, to give you a bit of an insight into the city. And actually, this video has been one which has been heavily requested, given my past videos in this part of Mexico. Look at the mountains up there. Stunning, right? It's nice and quiet today. It's Wednesday afternoon. It's just gone midday, so as you can imagine, if you're familiar with northern Mexico, you know what the heat can be like at this time of day. So you might see it being a little bit more quiet than it normally is, although I have to admit, I don't really notice that kind of quietness effect in Torreón as you get in perhaps Hermosillo or Ciudad Obregón and Sonora. There's Oxo, my favourite. We're heading into Centro. If I remember correctly, this park is Alameda, Zaragoza. Centro is up that way. Avenida Independencia, which is like the long commercial corridor, is kind of over in that direction. I'm actually staying just off that road, but there's no point me doing this video from there because honestly it would be very boring. It's just one straight road with like Denny's and IHOP, you know. I've actually filmed right here before. I remember Gorditas Maria Mercedes over there. I've never actually eaten there, so you never know. Might do that in an upcoming video. Centro Médico. As you can see, there's a lot of modern architecture in Torreón, because you might remember from my old videos that this city is relatively modern in comparison to some cities in Mexico. Like if we think of cities in the south which have a lot more colonial history, in comparison, Torreón hasn't really got that. But that doesn't mean to say that it hasn't got any type of history at all. It absolutely does. Historically, there's been a lot of immigration here, and in this part of Mexico, yes, you've got a bit of that Spanish influence, but also German, French, Arab countries, China. There's actually a mosque, which I think I featured in an old video. Nice park here, lovely. Over there, I believe it's here, there's a sort of big fountain area with a kind of monument, I guess, with names on of people who have been lost as a result of crime in the area. Again, you can check out my previous videos for many of the things I'm highlighting today, which is linked up above and also down in the description. I've purposely come this way because to my right, which you've just seen, is Neveria Capri. I had Nieves there, or was it Las Barros? I can't remember. And I had a great conversation with the owner about nudist beaches in Mexico. Pechuga, breasts. There is also Neveria Chepo in this region. I believe it originated in Lerdo. I think that's why I had it in that video last year. Yeah, brilliant Nieves. Many different flavors: walnut, caramel, chocolate, pretty much anything you can think of. Cajeta as well. I would definitely recommend it. Probably one of the best Nieves I've had in Mexico, I've got to admit. I'm not just saying that. You'll see a lot of places with like La Laguna, the lagoon. That's kind of what this area is called. Comarca Lagunera. It's also the place that Lala milk comes from. So if you spent any time in Mexico for, you know, a time in which you would be required to buy milk or other dairy products, you have probably bought Lala, and that comes from this region of Mexico. It's funny sometimes, isn't it? Like things that seem relatively trivial or mundane, when we're in a country, we don't realise the origin of things. So yeah, Lala milk is from here. Elotes. Beautiful. Someone did ask me the other day, someone from Ciudad Obregón in Sonora. Is Torreón like Obregón? That sounds funny. I would say in some ways, in terms of that modern aspect, I think somewhere like Obregón, you know, you've got that crazy cathedral. Yeah, you have some of that kind of feel here. I would say, yeah, it is similar, but also with a lot of difference. There's a lot of street art here in Torreón, and I would say a lot of the architecture is kind of more sort of 60s, 70s kind of era. And possibly slightly more well looked after. I felt like in Obregón there could have been a little bit more investment in maintenance of buildings. As you can see, churches, religious buildings in Torreón. I mentioned the mosque as well. You know, a lot of them are clearly much more modern. Some guys there doing some work on the scaffolding. Oh, here's a tattoo place. Now, I did get a new tattoo a few days ago, which I guess you'll see in the next video, because the next one will be a regular style video. It's actually why I'm doing this one first, because it only takes half an hour to film, and obviously with a healing tattoo you need to try and keep out of the sun, especially this type of sun, while it heals. And I've actually been in Torreón for over 2 weeks now in real time, but I've been catching up with work, doing work, and also I've been doing some sort of non-YouTube things and seeing people that I know here. You may see some of them actually in the next video. We've got a Mexidog. Hello. Hello, Angel. Oh, he's beautiful. I do love Mexidogs. Also, someone mentioned recently about, you know, the reason there are so many Mexidogs on the street is there is a lot of abandonment. I think that happens everywhere, doesn't it? People, you know, the old saying, a dog is for life, not just for Christmas. I almost said the other way around then. But it, you know, maybe in Mexico it seems to happen a lot more. And yeah, sometimes I joke that they are like vicious wolves or hellhounds, but it's just a joke, you know. 9 times out of 10 they are absolutely not an issue and very friendly. So don't be scared of Mexidogs, they're iconic. Okay, I'm just checking the map to make sure heading in the right direction. Of course I am. I know this place like the back of my hand. Kind of. Okay, I think I'm going to turn right up here. Oh, hang on, we're at the Teatro Isauro Martinez. I actually had a private tour of that in a previous video. which is really cool. It's amazing inside. It's one of the most iconic, most beautiful Teatro in Mexico, I've got to say. Okay, we're at this main plaza now. Sometimes there's a flag up there, but not today. Last year this whole area on the floor was like different colours. I've got some really good drone shots of that. There's that iconic building up there. If you come here in the evening, it's generally much livelier. People riding skateboards and whatever, with a lot of food stalls up there and down that road. And as you can see, we have the iconic Torreón sign. Sometimes I can pronounce it, sometimes I can't. That was one of the points when I can't pronounce it. This used to be brown, so this sign has completely changed. I was thinking the other day when I walked past it, is it to do with Pride Month? It is June 2022 at the moment. Potentially, I don't know. Could be the reason. Down here is Paseo Morelos, which is like a pedestrianised street through the centre of the city. Of course, you know, as I said about evening, you get a lot of restaurants, bars, things like that. It can be quite lively actually. I've been out at night a couple of times on past trips here. See what I said about street art. And as per pretty much everywhere in Mexico, there always is a lot of focus on cleanliness and keeping streets clean. There's always sweeping going on, which I guess is a good thing. Shows that there is actually care and investment in that sort of thing. A lot of places in the world just doesn't happen, right? Including where I'm from. Olympia Olivetti. I saw this the other day. It reminds me, I think there was a Formula One team in the 80s, Brabham, that was sponsored by Olivetti. So it kind of, this sort of lettering, there is this sort of retro feel in Torreón. It's totally my thing. I was here the other day at an art and music little kind of performance thing. I had to get up on the stage and speak Spanish. It was like that scene from Bridesmaids, you know. Muchas gracias, escuela, you know the one. Oh, Dios mío. Templo Metodista San Pablo. Now today, as I said, as I always say, I generally focus on the downtown area in cities because obviously it's in one shot. I can't walk down Independencia in half an hour. So we're in areas which you've probably seen before in my old videos. We have the Teleferico up here, Plaza de Armas, which is iconic. It's where I actually crashed a drone into the front of Domino's and also possibly decapitated a pigeon. The less said about that, the better. And yeah, that's where we're headed, clearly. There's a lot more in Torreón than just the central area, as with any city in Mexico. And as I said, you've got Gomez, Lerdo, all in close proximity. If you don't know, they are actually in two states. They like straddle Coahuila and Durango, but they are very much kind of joint, if you know what I mean. They're kind of brothers. There's the Teleferico. I'm going to go on that again while I'm here because it's brilliant. One of the great things about it is that down this street, it's pretty much at one level. It doesn't really have much of an incline. It's not until you get a bit further on, you might be able to see, I don't know. Yeah, there's that one in the distance. That's when it starts to climb up the hill towards the Cristo, which is iconic. You can see it right up at the top of the hill there. There's also the Pancho Villa horse as well. That's in Gomez Palacio. And with this Teleferico, why I think it's quite sort of unique in Mexico is, like, if you think of the ones in like Zacatecas or Durango, you know, they do have quite a steady incline from the beginning, but this one very much goes along the street at street level, and it's really cool in that respect. Cristo de las Noas. Noas is the type of cactus. If I remember correctly, in English it's like Queen Victoria cactus, and I think because it kind of looks like a crown or like some sort of regal thing. My memory is coming back. Brilliant. Hotel Rio Nazas. A friend of mine, Finn, he, I believe he filmed in here. Oh, just fell over. Let's take a quick look inside. Wowzers. Got these amazing chandeliers, this artwork up on the wall. Big fountain in the middle, and I love that big globe over there. It kind of reminds me of, you know, you see these hotels in the US that have kind of got this mezzanine up there. I'm getting vibes of that one I went to in El Paso, which was very grand, like the Titanic. Look, you've got this grand staircase over there. Hold this thought, you know, I might come back here in my actual proper Torreón video, which I'm filming in a few days. So there's a little taster for you. Gorditas. Probably the best thing about Torreón in terms of food. Lonches is another one. Nothing against gorditas in the south, but the ones up here, there's just so much more variety, so much more flavour. You do get them in corn, not always in flour. In Torreón, it's kind of the tortilla line. Anything north of here is kind of harina tortillas, but here you do kind of get both. You kind of have the choice. Oh, we're already on 24 minutes, Jesus. Don't worry, we're almost there. Workers taking a little rest. Abuelita taking a rest as well. Another example of the brilliant street art in Torreón. Torreón. Got to practice that. It's very difficult. But regarding that, actually, the double R, I do feel like in this city, I'm not going to say it again, that not everyone pronounces it with that, you know. Sometimes you do hear it like just like Torreón. I guess it depends who you speak to, you know. Lonches over there. There are many awesome places that you can get lonches here. I don't want to say that like I've been to the best one, because that annoys me actually when people say that's not the best place. Well, best is subjective, isn't it? But anyway. Hola. He's enjoying himself. I'll probably touch on this more in future videos, but you might be wondering why I keep coming back here. I do have an affinity with this place for some reason. You know, I've been on the road now for 6 years, and places I go to, I don't want to be in tourist places. I want just somewhere normal that you live. And yeah, there are some tourism aspects here, but it's not like, you know, San Miguel or something. And for me, moving to Poland in the future, that's the same thing I'm going to be doing there. I'm going to be... Oh, hola, amigo. Classic. Dios mío, recognise from YouTube. That happens a lot here. Yeah, so in Poland I'm going to be looking for somewhere which is much more of a just regular home, you know. And that's what I look for now when it comes to travel, because I stay in places for, you know, a month and longer. I'm not just here for a week, you know. Here we are in Plaza de Armas. Iconic. We might go over the 30 minutes, but that's fine. This is Torreón. Iconic. Once again, iconic. We have the iconic clock tower. This is where I lost a drone, around there, and it flew down there, careened into Domino's window, Fortunately didn't kill anyone. So I'm going to be careful this time getting drone shots here, because you do have circling pigeons. I mentioned El Paso in Texas. Are you feeling a bit of Texas vibes here and El Paso vibes? I am a little bit with those modern style buildings. Down that way you have like the Canal de la Perla, which is really interesting to go down to learn more about the history here. You have a mercado over there. There's also another mercado, what's it called? I've completely forgotten the name. I went past it on a bus the other day. But yeah, that was in another video. Yeah, we'll go to 35 minutes. We've gone over a little bit. There's one of the entrances to the canal. Last year it was closed, this one. You had to go around the other way. Yeah, it's still padlocked. I think that's not in use. Beautiful architecture, 1910. Yeah, I think the city had its like centenary, or at least when I was at the Teatro, I think that was having like, was that 90 years or 100 years? I can't remember. So yeah, you'll see a lot of architecture from that kind of era. As with many cities in the north, we've seen it already in Obregón, Hermosillo, and so on. This was the death point of my drone, revisited. As I said about the evening, this plaza is also a hive of activity. You've got even more food places than you can see now. You have people dancing, music, especially at the weekend. Really cool. Hotel Galicia. Don't you just love the sign up there? Hopefully you can see it well. It's kind of got that sort of 1930s feel. Reminds me of a lot of places I would see in Hawaii many years ago, before YouTube, that were sort of built around the 30s and that kind of era. I think there was a big tsunami which kind of destroyed a lot of hilo in, what island was it on? Was it the Big Island? I don't know, it was 15 years ago. Yeah, there we go, there's the entrance to the canal. So we're going to end in 1 minute, people. Hope you've enjoyed having a look around the awesome, iconic Torreón. You'll see me next time also here for one of my proper videos, which may or may not involve other people that I know from here. We'll just end it on this iconic looking hotel. That's the sort of place I like seeing. 1942 dilapidation. Lovely. Right, I'll see you next time from Torreón. Say goodbye to the Mexidogs. Adios, amigos.